You go another time, you know what I mean? It's someone that's just being like really mean to your girlfriend, like for no reason, just being like acting like they know her from some other time and they have some feud, even though your girlfriend or partner has no association to this person. You go there a different time, and the person is just like vomiting everywhere. You know what I mean? Like they're on drugs. They're like nodding out in front of you. Like they sit down while they're taking your order, and they're like nodding out and like pretending they're not. They put their head down, and all of their hair is like on the table.
Yeah,
like it'd be like if you like took like a doll and you like smacked its head like a Raggedy Ann on the table, and its hair like spread out in this like natural way. Like that's how this woman's hair is just like resting on the table.
Yeah,
as she's like mumbling your order back to you.
Yeah,
check this out. It's a restaurant, and the owner is really proud of this. You know what I mean? He's like, he's like, I give these crazy waitresses a place to go. You know what I mean? Sure, they're not going to stick around long. I know that. They know that. But I give them a shot to do what they can do. And each one is insane in a different way. And that's why people come here.
Welcome to the Fantasy Cast podcast, where three grown men pass the time by sharing their deepest, darkest fantasies. Here we go.
Okay. Are you in a new room? Looks like a study.
Yeah, I'm just in my front room. Just thinking of maybe putting on the TV. Things slow down a little bit. There's this Vietnam documentary on Apple TV I've been watching.
Oh yeah, what'd you learn?
Nothing really. It's the same as any other one. It's just different people telling different stories of how they dealt with the war, their experience. Do I just like the footage? The footage is really colorized.
The Kong. Those guys could fight.
Oh, is that what you call them?
Yeah, Viet Cong.
Viet Cong. Oh, okay.
They did this one thing where they would freak out the U.S. soldiers, like if like a platoon of U.S. soldiers was like creeping through the woods, you know, they would throw like a diaper full of like shit,
you
know, and they'd throw it up in the air. They wouldn't be able to tell where it came from, and it would as it like protruded through the trees, it would rip open, and so it would be just like shit would fall down on these soldiers, and they knew that's when they knew that it was just a matter of time before they were going to meet their death. Really haunting, chilling stuff.
Wow, diapers, huh?
Yeah.
Well, they had all these tunnels. I don't know if any of that's true, but they had all these tunnels they dug underground, which was really crazy. And they dug tunnels all the way to Saigon, a network of tunnels. And a lot of these boys, they went in there, they didn't know what to expect. They didn't know what they were getting into. You know, they realized they became disillusioned at some point. And
like in the holes when they're hanging out in the holes.
No, the army men.
Yeah, you said they would go into these holes, and then they would get disillusioned.
That's not what I meant to say. I guess I'm a little distracted. I should tell you what's going on while I'm recording in here.
Yeah.
It's got a pretty long story, pretty boring. So I can't afford a phone. Okay. It's too expensive.
Yeah.
I don't want a fancy phone.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I can't afford it. I barely have a job. So I can't really spend $800 on a phone for something to be able to look at Twitter on.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so I go to Target. I buy the cheapest phone they have. I bring it home. First of all, the guy behind the counter is literally counting donuts with his back turned to me. His name is Robbie. I don't know why he had a box of donuts open at Target, counting donuts. He sees I'm there shuffling my feet. I'm uncomfortable. I want to give you $200 for the cheapest phone they have.
Right.
And I even try to make small talk with him. I'm like, wow, it's so much cheaper to get the phone at Target than to go to Apple. And he's like, doesn't even acknowledge, just grunts.
Yeah.
Takes the package. And when someone treats you like that, you know something's wrong.
Yeah.
You're getting ripped off somehow, or the product is faulty. I was imagining going home, opening it up, finding out it's a play phone or something for like a little kid.
Sure.
Okay, and the phone's locked. So my service that my wife pays for is actually can't go on this phone. It's only for Verizon. It's locked. Okay, I've already doodled all over all of the packaging.
Yeah,
while I'm on the phone trying to talk to Verizon.
Sure.
Verizon's like, there's nothing we can. They straight up say there's nothing we can do for you. Just return the phone. They should have told you that. I returned the next week. I'm sweating bullets trying to return this phone, terrified that Robbie's not going to take the phone back.
Yeah.
I go there. They're grilling me about why I'm returning the phone. I'm saying I can't use the phone. It's not for me. They're like, well, do you want to sign up for Verizon? No, I don't want to sign up for Verizon. The guy wants to murder me. Thinks I did something wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the first half of the story. Okay, so now I buy a phone refurbished. We're talking iPhone like 12 mini from like 2002, 2022.
Sure. Yeah.
Previously used, $200. Okay. Just deliver it to my fucking house. I paid for it. Can you just drop it off on the front steps? No one wants this piece of shit fucking phone anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We can't drop it off. We need a signature. Okay, well, I'm not there on Sunday in the middle of the day. I'm with my family. Okay, well, we'll come Monday at 1:30 p.m. Okay, what if I have to work? I'm not there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like the one day I have to work. I'm not there. So they're like, well, we tried twice. I don't know what to tell you. I guess you just don't get this phone. The fucking USPS is telling me this. I told them I rescheduled for today. Today I'm looking at the front door all day long, aggravated at my family. And I see the son of a bitch driving by. And I was like, I bet you any fucking money he's been talking to the Amazon guy.
Yeah, those guys collude.
Well, okay, you're thinking like, what do you mean the Amazon guy? Okay, I told you this in private, but the Amazon guy and me, we have this thing, okay? Unpassing, I was picking up a package from his hand. I told him about my idea to put pagers on Amazon drivers that you can call and it would either tase them or sexually gratify them. Ever since then, the guy thought I was like coming on to him or something, is looking at me sideways. I don't know what his read is. I just thought it was a funny idea. Okay, the idea is if you have an Amazon package coming, you can track it. You can contact the person driving, the delivery person driving to drop off your package. Yeah. And you can either buzz him an electrical shock to make him move faster, or you can buzz him with something that makes him feel sexual gratification.
Yeah,
by sending a text message. Okay, whatever. Just wanted to make that clear. This guy didn't like that. So, whenever I have a package that's supposed to come in from Amazon, I can't afford Prime, so I have to wait 2 days. I'm looking out the front window. I see this guy driving by around the block over and over again. It says my package is due for delivery at a certain time, a certain day. He sees me waiting. You know what I mean? I'm even hanging out the window, like trying to get his attention. Hey. And he's driving by. The side of the van's open. He's blaring music. He's at the end of the corner, just smoking, looking at me, pretending he doesn't see me. He's toying with me. And then he'll either deliver the package like at the very last minute, like when I'm asleep, like 12 a.m. or like a day later. And it's like broken in half or something like that. So I don't know what to do with these guys. It's like customer service is an all-time low. No one feels any personal responsibility for anything. He's probably talking to the USPS guy, and that's why my phone isn't here. And I really need that phone so that I could take pictures of my kid. I like to look at social media on there, and I check my email on there compulsively, even though I don't get any emails from anyone ever.
Yeah. You've had a history. Well, first of all, that's really sorry that all happened to you. It's really unfortunate. You don't deserve any of that. Second of all, imagine your job is to bring packages to people's doors every day, and they're just sitting there with bated breath, staring at their front door just for hours waiting for a package, right? You have so much power in that situation as a delivery guy. Of course, you're going to toy with them. Your life is meaningless. You don't make a lot of money. If you're lucky, you might get a little bit of strange on the side from one of these deliveries.
Milkman
It's about
stuff.
the best that you can hope for. Yeah, you're pissing in a jar in your car. So of course you're going to toy with people's emotions and fuck with them and try to torture them, by withholding certain packages. delivering them faster than normal. I don't know if that's ever happened to you, but like you get really excited because you're like, okay, last time this thing got to my house in like a day before they said it would. And then the next 6 deliveries are late. They just like to fuck with you.
Yeah.
So of
They'll
course
be really nice to you one day, chatting your ear
Yeah.
off. Next time you see them, it's like there's like a family blood feud that goes back generations or something.
Well, that's what I was about to say. Is like I distinctly remember one time when we were in high school and I was over at your house and I heard like a rustling outside and you're like, oh fuck. I'm like, what's going
Yeah.
on? You're like, my dad's fighting a mailman again.
Mm.
And every couple of months, your dad and the mailman would just start going at each other. Sometimes it would lead to blows. Sometimes it would lead to, they would just be barking at each other. It was always over something stupid, but I don't think there was a period in your life that you remember when there wasn't some kind of conflict with the mailman.
The quarrel has always been there.
Yeah.
The sense of quarrel is always in our house.
Yeah.
And he was always on edge brooding about this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Randy, the mailman.
Yeah.
So
picture this. All right. You're waiting for you get enough UPCs from the back of a cereal box. You finally get the toy. You send away. They're sending you the toy. It's going to get 6 to 8 weeks every single day after school. You're a little kid. You're waiting for the mail to come. And your dad is just pacing back and forth, like in the front room with his broomstick, just waiting for the mailman to come. Like maybe the mailman has your toy, but you're never going to get it because you're just going to beat the shit out of him.
Old man, take a look at my life. I'm a lot like you were.
Uh-huh.
That's where I am. I've become my father, and I get it now. I try to. This is all from me trying to be friends with someone, and I guess I'm just a little weird. The sense of humor is off, or something. There's something wrong. There's a couple of screws loose, or something. I'm sorry. I'm not perfect. You know what I mean? You think the neighbors the neighbors wouldn't care if you were bleeding in the middle of the street. They wouldn't even call the police. I would come out. I would, even in this condition, if you were stabbed or a dog was goring you, one of these pit bulls, leashless pit bulls was goring you in the middle of the street, I'd come out. I'd try to protect you. These neighbors want it.
No, they wouldn't.
And I wish they could just. I wish there was. I wish that they could know that.
Yeah. Can I show you this picture I was drawing of you while you were telling me about the thing? I don't know if you can see it.
Okay. So we got a picture of Thomas the Tank Engine, correct?
It's Gordon, but yeah.
It's Gordon?
Yeah. You can tell by the triangular nose, the cleft lip.
This is a different one.
Than Thomas?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of friends. There's Gordon, there's Percy, there's James.
Okay, I didn't know that. I thought there was just like one, whatever. Okay, and there's me. It looks like I'm wearing a polo shirt. My neck is really skinny. I have really big shoulders.
It's a crop top.
Crop top polo top. I have a wristwatch on. I'm holding a Slim Jim.
Yeah,
I see. And my head's tilted back. The top of my head's cut off by the I think it's legal size paper.
Yeah.
My mouth is open and the tank engine is shitting inside of my mouth. Or it's releasing something inside of my mouth.
Yeah, it's shit.
Okay. So that was just a doodle? That was just like came out subconsciously, or?
Yeah, while you were telling your story, I was just imagining that, it was subconscious. I didn't have any kind of intention towards that. If I claimed any kind of connection to the story you're telling, I'd be lying. Which a lot of artists do. They just come up with something and then they think about meaning later. Is that wrong? I don't know. Who cares? But
okay.
Listen, I know you've been talking a lot about you. There's something I wanted to ask you about from our chat today.
Yeah, what's up?
So you posted this video of Joey Swole, which I know you're going to get into. And I said, this is good. Swole never misses. And you said, that's why they call him Joey. What do you mean by that?
Can you give some context for the Joey Swole video?
Do you want to? I know it's
yeah, just describe it to me because I kind of forgot what it was.
Okay, so the Joey Swole video is this guy. I think he's Australian or Irish or something. He's definitely not American. He's in a gym and he's like, see that mate, see that lad over there? He's doing push-ups because he just lost his family and he's trying to work out the stress. See that guy over there? You might think he's a little bit overweight, but it took him all day to work up the courage to come into the gym. See that bloke over there? He's doing tiny little exercises, but don't judge him. He has a heart condition. That's the only thing he can do. People come to the gym for different reasons. We have to make it a safe space for them. And then Joey Swole jumps on and weighs in his usual thing of like the gym is for everybody. It needs to be a safe place.
Yeah. So this guy, Joey Swole, you don't know about him, check him out. He's on X. He's this bodybuilder and he critiques people's gym etiquette. People post a video of like influencers doing gym stuff and he'll be like, this is wrong. Or someone will be like helping someone else at the gym and he'll be like, this is right. So he's a gym commentary guy. And yeah, this video is cool. It was this guy that Joey Swole was looking at, and this guy was saying, don't judge people at the gym. You don't know what they're going through. They might have a heart condition. They might have been in an abusive relationship and they're trying to get strong again. They have a wrist problem. They have a cardiac problem. They don't want to be a big, strong guy. They're just trying to get some exercise. You know what I mean? Not everyone.
So it's British, like he's though, right? I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
Like this cunt over here.
I don't think he used that language, but yeah, I mean that's like how a British person might say it. So, yeah, I thought it was a great video, and that's Joey Swole for you.
That's amazing. Can I tell a true story? This is 100% true. One of our guests that we had, our first guest that we have, POV Paul, my buddy, he went to high school with Joey Swole, and they played on the football team. And Joey Swole he's not a very tall guy. He's like kind of like short and stocky. He played fullback, and my friend is like a big guy, and he played like defensive. He's like a defensive tackle. And he said that during one of the practices, he just lit up Joey Swole and knocked him flat on his ass. Pretty cool, huh?
That's Joey, man. That's why they call him that.
But he didn't. Yeah, he didn't.
Speaking of football, no, he's still good. Speaking of football, I had a fantasy.
Yeah, hit me. So I've got another athletic gym related one after you're done.
First of all, Kendrick Lamar, that was incredible. The halftime show was better than the Super Bowl. So yeah, he somehow like surrounded himself with giant people and made his voice sound higher and more nasally than it normally is, which I thought was a really brave decision. He was also wearing pants that made him look like a baby Clydesdale. So that was cool, and overall it was better. It was entertaining. That he's a song and dance man, and it was one of the best performances I've ever seen. The Super Bowl was incredible. The Eagles represent good people. The Chiefs were bad people, but it's fixed either way. And I was just imagining like being a rookie in the Super Bowl. You get the Super Bowl for the first time, and you're on the field. You see a play go down and you're like, something's off. There's like 3 footballs on the field. You know what I mean? Someone gets a touchdown and everyone's cheering. You're like, but wait, the football was over there. How is that there? Another play happens. The rookie notices that one football player is just like tackling someone who's not there or rustling someone who's not there. And there's like a guy, there's also like the quarterback's not throwing a football at all. Just all these little things, these flags that just like no one's throwing a flag, but the game stops and it says there's a flag.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is fixed. This is like all they're putting CGI in, like when it's going out and stuff like that. And he is like pulling his hair out on the sidelines and he just loses his mind. He starts screaming at the camera, like, this whole thing's fixed. They control the whole thing. And the cameraman is just like, you know, you've seen cameraman. It's usually just like a dad wearing like glasses. He just points the camera away from this rookie who's just trying to hold on to the camera. Everyone's ignoring him. He goes up to a police officer, he's yelling in his face. He's like, help me, help me. You know what I mean? The whole thing's fixed. He grabs the police officer's gun.
Yeah.
And he's like pointing at everyone and no one stops it. No one does anything. They're just ignoring him. The game's still going on. He's running around the field. He starts firing the gun in the air. No one notices it or stops. Yeah. He takes the gun, puts it to the side of his head, pulls the trigger.
Yeah.
It's a toy gun. It's a prop gun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's like,
Yeah.
totally, there's nothing you can do to stop the NFL. It's completely made up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a fantasy to just reflect the truth of the situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Professional wrestling.
It's fake.
Yeah.
It's mostly CGI, and it's crazy that like you get picked. It's like some board picks who's going to be the winners and stuff like that.
Based on markets and
Creepy stuff.
everything. It's like when you look at something that's CGI and you notice that like the fingers don't look right, like after you're looking long enough, and like the movement seems stilted. That's kind of how it is. I imagine that rookie starting to look at stuff and he's like, oh man, Patrick Mahomes, he's got two left arms.
Yeah, or it's like it's someone wearing like a skin mask. You know what I mean? That's just like his head's like slightly too big.
Yeah. It's stuff that we've known for a long time, but imagine being a rookie and finding out for the first time, like in game.
Yeah, I guess that's the fantasy. It's like you don't know, but everyone kind of knows that it's the NFL's rigged.
It's a good fantasy.
Just a little something to knock down my free time.
Yeah. Can I tell you my gym fantasy? My exercise workout fantasy?
Yeah.
You know those guys that, you know, it's like personal trainer, or like, you know, there'll be a bunch of guys like working out in a park and they'll all be like encouraging each other like really aggressively, like yelling at each other, like to do more push-ups or whatever, just like getting really intense with it. I imagine that I have that job for guys who can't come, and so they hire me to like coach them, you know, through it. And I picture myself with one of my clients who I've been working with for a long time to like get his stamina up, get his like stroke down, just get him to the point where he can comfortably come. And he's been like going at his partner for probably like 45 minutes straight, just trying everything. And he's absolutely exhausted. And I'm standing there in the room with him in like the bed in the hotel, like watching him. And they're just completely exhausted. He just falls on his side. And he's like, oh, you know what? Rome wasn't built in a day. You know, if I don't come today, that's fine, because, you know, my partner got off and I'm just trying to, you know, do one day a little bit better than the last. And I'm like, fuck that. I pick him up. I'm like, you're going to dig deep. You're going to find a fucking place inside that you never fucking found before. And I take his pelvis and I push it into his partner. And I start pushing it back and forth like really fast. And I'm like, you're never going to fucking give up. You're stronger than you think. Keep going and going and going and going and going. And I'm pushing him like, I got it. I'm not going to let you fail. And I keep pushing him back and forth. And he's just completely exhausted. And finally he busts and he falls down onto the floor and he starts throwing up. And I'm like down there, like at his level, like crouched down at his level. You know, like drill sergeant style.
Yeah.
And I'm yelling at him and there's like SpaghettiOs in his puke. I'm like, see this shit? You're eating like shit. You didn't eat how I told you to fucking eat. See this? If you ate like I told you how to fucking eat, you wouldn't be fucking puking, because all that food would be turned into energy. And that's why you didn't come. You know? So I really encourage guys in that way. And that's my strategy for like getting guys to come who can't normally come.
Do you ever like relax with these guys, or is it like you're always the leader to them?
No, I relax with them. Like basically in the situation that I'm thinking about, like I've been working with this guy for probably like months leading up to this, you know, working on stuff outside of the bedroom to get his stamina up, to get his focus, concentration, to get find out what makes him horny. Like what can you connect with in the bedroom if you're not feeling it with, you know, whatever. Getting his diet right. And so to see him just give up like that, you know, and accept that kind of failure just was not acceptable to me.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah. So I'm like, fuck that. You're not done. There's no fucking way you're done.
Right.
You know, I believe he's stronger than he is. And he was.
After a session like this, you taking him up on a hill, like in a park, you know what I mean? And just like having a cool down. All the guys are toweling off and stuff, drinking some A1 greens or something out of canteens.
Yeah.
Metal canteen bottles, and just you kind of opening up a little bit and be like, there's a lot of possibilities out there if you look for them. You know what I mean? Something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It's
Like
a
I'm
big
not
world. It's a big
like,
world out there. You're getting philosophical a little bit.
yeah. And I'm like letting it, I'm like lowering my guard down and letting in a piece of myself that I wouldn't, up to that point, wouldn't divulge them because I didn't respect them up until then.
Right.
You know?
They impressed you that day.
Yeah.
So that's good.
But it makes me think about your idea of a sexual doula, who's like in there in the bedroom with the person, like coaching them in real time
Right.
as they
I think
penetrate their
that's
partner.
a solid idea. I guess it's there just needs to be more to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a good start to a fantasy that the
Yeah.
character is a sexual doula. But where's the tension? Where's the conflict? It's someone, well, there you go. It's someone that they take on a couple that actually teach the sexual doula something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Maybe it's not all about whatever it is a sexual doula's job is. There's something else,
Yeah.
you
Okay, here
know?
we go. Here we go. You ready for this? The sexual
Yeah.
doula, it's a woman, right? Um, Twist to it.
Are you
Didn't see
sure?
that coming. Yeah,
Okay.
in this
Weird.
fantasy, she's a woman.
Okay, that's weird.
And there's a couple who's been trying to have conceive a child, but their sex stroke is off. Like what people don't realize, when
Yeah,
like
here we go.
older kids, like what older boys always used to say to me is like, if you don't want to get a girl pregnant, she has to stand on her head after you have sex. If you don't want to get a girl pregnant, only do back shots. If you don't want to, all these different rules for if you don't want to get a girl pregnant. Turns out all those
Mhm.
rules are true, you know. And so the counter argument to that is to get a girl pregnant, you have to have a certain stroke, a certain method, rhythm,
And that's true.
position, all this other
That's
stuff.
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Otherwise, it's not going to work. So that's where the
Okay.
sexual doula comes in, So she's
Okay.
like guiding this guy into his wife, and and they're still not getting pregnant, and then she's like getting frustrated, and she's like, you're doing it wrong. She's saying to the woman, you're doing it wrong, and she jumps on the guy, and she's like, you got to hit it from this angle. He's not going to be able to do it unless you spread your legs in this way, whatever. He
Mhm.
nuts. She ends up getting pregnant. The doula. Boom.
Oh,
Fantasy
okay.
turns into a surrogacy story of
Okay.
love, and they turn into a throuple. They're
Dude,
poly.
it's a poly story.
Yeah, the whole time this sexual duo has been poly, and she didn't even realize it. She didn't come out as poly until she got impregnated by this guy. So now they're a family.
Okay. That's cool.
Isn't that beautiful? Beautiful story.
Where did they live?
They live in like a wealthy suburb of a major city, a coastal city.
Okay, cool.
And they feel this kind of like pressure to have one or two children, like a lot of their friends who also listen to NPR tell them.
What's their
to.
kitchen like?
Granite countertops. They have an island in the center with a vent. The stovetop is in the island in the center. They have one of those fridges that is counter level. It's not like a vertical fridge. You pull it out. They have a freezer like that too. And then they have just like, quirky to be like, look at us. We're we have roots in with like real people. They have like some old 70s like baking stuff,
Yeah, that's what I do. They have any old stuff? Are they like kind of cute, or is it all?
Yeah, like they can clearly afford like the highest grade stuff, and most of their kitchen is like that, but they have one or two vintage items that's like a stirring, like an automatic stirrer, or like an ice cream making machine or some shit like that they got at a thrift store.
Is there
Or
art on the
antique shop.
walls? Any art on the walls?
Yeah, they have art on the walls. The art is mostly like French posters from like different operas and
Okay.
theatrical performances, but they do have some like abstract art.
From their friends or something? Yeah.
Yeah, like they were they have a lot of disposable. Like you're thinking of two professionals that are in like executive roles at like nonprofits. So they're
there we
pulling
go.
down like $180,000-$200,000 a year. Two people, no kids.
Jesus,
dinks. Yeah, dinks,
well,
but they're not proud dinks.
They're not
like
dinks.
They want to.
Yeah. They're not
They
dinks.
want to.
Yeah.
Right. And so their house is filled with like their friend's kid or something is in art school, and they had an opening, so they bought their shit. And there's nothing like particularly like it looks like a painting. It fits on the wall like a painting.
Okay, so it's not like super. It's not super considered the interior.
No, it's not super considered, but it is.
It's not. It's not bare either. It's not like bare bone.
Right. These people, they need something to spend their money on. You know.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. They're trying to make it cozy.
They're trying to make it cozy. They're trying to like. They're not putting up art just to have be like art collector people. Like it has some kind of story to it. Oh yeah, this is my friend's kids' art. Blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
But they still have art up on their walls.
Okay. Cool. Who gives a shit?
And yeah, they're the kind of people that would hire a sexual doula.
Okay, here's a quick fantasy.
Yeah.
It's a restaurant that you every time you go to it, you just keep coming back. And you're like, I don't know why I keep coming back here. I said the ambiance, is it the food?
Yeah.
And you're sitting there in the car with your wife, who just is so hungry, she doesn't care. And like, before we go in, like, let's really like try to figure out why we like this place. And she's like, I don't even really like it. I'm just go here because you keep choosing it and it's good enough. I really just would rather eat at home. And I'm like, okay, let's just find out like why we like this restaurant. It's so good. You go in there, your waitress comes up. She looks like she's like just came in from the rain, but it's not raining out, and her mascara is just like running down her face, and hair dye is like running down her back. Yeah. But it's not raining. It's not even wet or even humid, so it makes no sense.
Yeah,
and it looks like they've been working for a while. Like they have a couple tables. And you order some food. You're like, I'll have the BLT club, and she's like, oh, is that what you want? You know what I mean? Like that. Yeah. And I'm like, and I'm like kind of laughing, like. Yeah, that's what I want. Oh, okay. Well, I'll make sure we get that. It's going to be so yummy for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she walks away, and you're like you're not offended. You're just kind of like, this is it. This is why I like this place. I've realized every time I come here, I get a different waitress that's mentally unstable in a different way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the next time you go there, it's like a waitress that's like really flirty, but they have like sunglasses on, and maybe there's like a medical bracelet on. You go another time, you know what I mean? It's someone that's just being like really mean to your girlfriend, like for no reason, just being like acting like they know her from some other time and they have some feud, even though your girlfriend or partner has no association to this person. You go there a different time, and the person is just like vomiting everywhere. You know what I mean? Like they're on drugs. They're like nodding out in front of you. Like they sit down while they're taking your order, and they're like nodding out and like pretending they're not. They put their head down, and all of their hair is like on the table.
Yeah,
like it'd be like if you like took like a doll and you like smacked its head like a Raggedy Ann on the table, and its hair like spread out in this like natural way. Like that's how this woman's hair is just like resting on the table.
Yeah,
as she's like mumbling your order back to you.
Yeah,
check this out. It's a restaurant, and the owner is really proud of this. You know what I mean? He's like, he's like, I give these crazy waitresses a place to go. You know what I mean? Sure, they're not going to stick around long. I know that. They know that. But I give them a shot to do what they can do. And each one is insane in a different way. And that's why people come here.
Yeah, like that. I imagine there's like you're sitting down and like a guy comes up to you and he's like, hey, can I get this hot sauce? Yeah. And you're like, yeah, go ahead. And he's like, this hot sauce, they don't have Tabasco sauce. They used to have Tabasco sauce. All they have is this crystal hot sauce. If you put this on your food, it's gonna make it taste better. And you're kind of like awkwardly like, okay, yeah, all right, good, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
But he just won't stop talking, about just something kind of like pointless and mundane, and you're kind of like humoring him a little bit, but you're really like, just get the fuck out of here because we're hungry.
Yeah.
And then he's like, okay, what can I get you? And then he takes out the pad and starts like, it turns out that's the waiter.
No idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Just like this complete.
So some of them are
social.
Some of them are men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they?
Like one of them is like one of them is one of the guys is like trying to sell you different internet service.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's like a greasy guy, and you're like, I just want the onion rings in this burger. I know that's not going to be that good.
Yeah, but he's like totally using this job
to. Like, what kind of service you got?
Something else.
Oh, you use that? You use them? Oh, dude, come on! What are you, a baby? You know what I mean? You got to get on Verizon, man.
Yeah,
I can make you a deal right now. And he's like wearing Verizon clothes, like the outfit. It's the second job.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's trying to earn 2 paychecks.
He walks in, and I'm like really rude to him. I'm like, no, I don't want any. I just want the food. Okay. You know what I mean? I'm really rude. I don't even care if they spit in the food, sort of.
Yeah.
He walks away. I turn to my girlfriend. I'm like, I fucking love this place so much. You know what I mean? Like I'm having the time of my life.
Yeah. And he comes.
It's so funny.
He comes back and he knocks off like the fries that you got. He's like, listen, I took the fries off the bill. It's on me. Don't worry about it. And then he keeps trying to.
Yeah, and I'm like, I didn't order fries. I specifically said I didn't want fries. I don't want the fries. You know what I mean? And he's getting angry because I'm picking on him. But it's like, he's just not paying attention. He's like hyperactive. So
I really like that idea.
Yeah, I think that would be really fun.
But how's the
place
actual
to go
food?
to? The food is like it's better than diner food.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good food. It's good.
Yeah.
But it's it's like most places that are okay.
Yeah.
That you would go to again.
Yeah.
And I think the most places I eat are like of that level.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to spend like $1 zillion, zillion dollars. But I also don't want to spend all goddamn day at a restaurant. You know what I mean? So I go to this place here. I go to Tuman's. It's kind of the inspiration for this place. Although the waitresses aren't crazy, it's just where I had the idea. And the food's not that good, but it's better than bad and better than diner food.
Right.
So,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Would I recommend it? I wouldn't recommend it to someone that I thought was better than me. But if I knew someone was as slobby as me, I would highly recommend it.
Yeah. I'm looking at the menu right now. Like you can get a like shaved Brussels sprout salad. That's kind of something that's kind of classy. But you can also get like a buffalo chicken sandwich.
Exactly. Yes, that's like culturally what level I'm at,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, this is good. I like this. Yeah, you can get like jumbo wings, and they also offer a gorgonzola cheeseburger with port and caramelized onion reduction.
Their big thing is this chicken. They have a chicken dinner that's really good. It's actually really good.
Oh, cool.
Do you see it on the menu?
Yeah. Roasted Amish chicken, mashed potatoes,
shallot,
that's
pan
it. Gravy, seasonal vegetables.
That's actually really good. Yeah, it's good.
I bet. I mean,
it's so good.
That's a hearty meal.
You eat it and you're like, I can't make this at home. Or if I could, it would be hard for me.
Yeah, that's like a Thanksgiving dinner process. That's cool though. Before we talk, so I do want to talk about You, Me, and Dupree. It's a movie that we talk about all the time. You okay talking about it?
Absolutely. I have a lot to say about it. I've just revisited it myself, and we have a long history with it.
Before we get into that, though, I just want to hit a quick fantasy that just came to my head. I feel like I have to get off my chest or I'm going to forget it.
Okay.
So there's like a major market, or a basketball prospect who's like going to be the next Michael Jordan. It's like understood that he's going to be just like insanely good. He's in the draft, and all these teams are like really just like trying to jockey to get him. And about a couple of weeks before the draft, he starts an OnlyFans, and his OnlyFans is like him, like holding it like the camera to his face and like talking dirty to the camera, really like ASMR style, and masturbating and like showing like his dick and in like a dark room with like the cell phone light, and he's like, the world, he'll say stuff like, man, the world's not even ready for me yet. And he'll just be like slowly stroking. And so that turns a lot of teams off, like, so like the first 3 teams that would draft him are like, we don't want that. It's just not, whatever. And so he falls way down in the draft, and he gets like this, a team picks him, and they draft him, and he's just ridiculous. He's balling out. This guy can't miss. But after every game, he goes on his OnlyFans and he does, like he's like, "What up, Cleveland? What up, ladies of Cleveland? I just got something to show you." Just like really like you hear his lips smacking and his breathing heavy and stuff like that. It's just really disgusting.
Yeah, everything looks sweaty and wet.
yeah. And like he's in
the camera's lens is steamy because he's like breathing on it so closely.
Yeah, and he's like you can hear him chewing gum, and it's like the team is like, you got it. Like there's a legal, like legally they can't really do anything about it because like on his own time, and like it like skirts whatever conduct rules are in the league, because they just haven't written anything for him. So he's like completely like perverted and embarrassment to the team, but he's winning like games like crazy.
He's really good.
So he's really good. And he's like really like outside of this, he's like very charming, and like the league loves him, and he's like a great spokesperson for the league. That's also like
cool. That's a powerful position to be in. That's someone who's like fully developed.
Yeah.
I guess. You know what I mean? They've really accepted every aspect of themselves and aren't ashamed.
No.
He's a nice guy. You said he's charming too. He's not like sadistic.
No.
Sounds cool.
He's just like he wants to perform in this way for the camera, and if you want to log out, if you want to join,
and women, it's women like this sort of stuff. A man looking at you on a greasy phone. Yeah. He has like an LED changing LED neat like Christmas lights in the background. That's it. And maybe like there's one of those glass shelves with like toy cars in it or some shit.
A title screen of like a PlayStation game. Just a background.
It's a Tuesday night, and he's just getting really greasy on his phone, and women are like, I gotta see this.
Yeah, and he's like interacting with like the different women who are like commenting and stuff. And he's like, oh, like blowing up kisses, and like, I know you guys are gonna like this one. You guys see me drop 40 on the nets tonight?
You'll do it after a game?
Yeah.
Wow.
We'll do it like after a game, like while he's like winding down.
He's toweling off in the gym. He's like, all right, I'll see you guys later. I gotta do a shoot tonight.
Yeah, whatever. I gotta go live. And it's just a really casual, intimate thing. You know what I mean? He's not like putting on a show. He's just like, he's got his phone in bed, so he invites all the fans to just join him in bed while he jacks off and talks to them.
There's friends.
Yeah, basically.
That's cool.
It's a really intimate, and that's what makes it very enduring and sweet, is a very intimate thing where he's not like exploiting anybody. He's not like, doing anything. He's just like, yeah, you want to come into my bed with me and hang out with me while I jack off, and I'll talk to you and tell you all how much I love you and how beautiful you are to me, and how much, how I love my life, and I'm so grateful and lucky, blah, blah, blah.
Sorry,
that'd be sexy.
I'm getting over. My therapist is texting me. I went to the nature museum the other day with my kid.
Does your therapist actually text you?
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's kind of like a thing we worked out because I kind of stopped going, and I didn't. It's a long story. So I went to the nature museum,
Uh-huh.
and I just drink like a lot of coffee, and I've been trying like different kinds of intense magnesium that I think like to sleep better, and it just
Yeah.
like.
The gummies.
Well, I mean, that's this thing. It's like a powder now, and I kind of like abuse it a little bit. So I'm usually like pretty tired. So to get over there, I have to drink a lot of like coffee and stuff, and I mix
Yeah.
in a little bit of like powdered caffeine drinks and stuff. So sometimes I can be on edge. So I went to
Sure.
the nature museum with my daughter, and they had this beautiful wooden like case of like butterflies and like snakes and like boogers. And I don't just like a
Yeah.
bunch of like weird old people stuff, like a glass eye or something. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
hey, look at this. I'm like, the wood looks so like well carved in this, but I was like, something like this. I'm talking to a complete stranger who's ignoring me. I don't even know if he speaks English.
Yeah.
And I'm like, these things got to be strong enough for like kids to just wail on it. And I'm just like, I start kicking it and pushing it, like to see like how strong it is. I'm like, look how
Sure.
strong that is. That is
Yeah, you got to
so
test it.
strong. I mean, they have to be strong for liability reasons. And I'm like throwing my whole body into it.
Sure.
And the security, they don't like that. Granted, like in retrospect, I think I was probably could have toned it down, but that set me off. It's just like, you guys put this here. I paid to come in here. This is built to withstand it.
Yeah.
The glass broke. It cracked.
Oh,
I guess it was like
piece
an
of
old
shit.
it was like an antique thing.
Oh.
So it's just anyways, like I was saying, the phone didn't show up. And I just got a lot going on. So I don't really have like a full fantasy setup for today. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I didn't either. I feel like today's like a workshop. You know what I mean? We're just
Oh,
like
okay, cool.
throwing some ideas out, seeing what sticks, giving people a look behind the curtain of like what our generative fantasy process is. Like,
Yeah.
we do this probably a couple times a week. But okay, so You, Me, and Dupree. It's a
Yeah,
movie
shoot,
that
man.
is really powerful layer, just a little bit of like backstory on it. It's got a lot within the movie. It has a lot of Hollywood history in it. Um, so just give you the plot is basically Matt Dillon plays a guy named Carl who's about to get married to Kate Hudson in Hawaii. And Kate Hudson's dad is footing the bill, very wealthy. Carl's best man is this guy named Dupree, played by Owen Wilson. And this guy's just like a lovable loser. He's kind of a fuck up dreamer who's down on his luck. And he ends up living with Dupree and living with Carl. Matt Dillon becomes a part of their life, much to the chagrin of Carl and Kate Hudson at first, but he endures themselves to them.
Molly is
and
her name.
Molly, yeah. And they become kind of like, he grows on them. You know, he starts off as a nuisance and kind of like a child, a grown man child that they have to take care of, but he grows on them, and you know, sparks kind of fly between Dupree and Molly. You know, it all ends well, but there's just so many completely hilarious movie. It's extraordinarily erotic. There's a lot of parts about it that are like, I must have seen it like 8 or 9 times, and every time I watch it, I get something new from it. And so that's kind of the setup. And there's a couple of parts within it that I thought were really interesting and important to point out. But I'm wondering, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, first I'd like to explain like my history with the movie Me and Dupree. Okay, this is one of those movies that was on when John and I and Nathan were all living together. This little apartment in Ravenswood, and this thing would be on 8 times a day on HBO. And it's something about it just clicked. This was so charmed, so caught up with the characters. Dupree's such a likable guy. Carl is rough around the edges, but you want to break through, find that Carlness. And if when I say Carlness, you'll know what I'm talking about if you've seen the movie. It's a reference to the movie itself. Kate Blanchett is phenomenal. She's beautiful. Michael Douglas plays her father. I guess what's great about it is just that it's actually Owen Wilson's performance is really funny. I forgot how funny he was, and especially knowing that he was addicted to crystal meth at the time. It's really a revelation. I mean, I would have never guessed. He takes his shirt off at one point. I was really like, wow, he's in really good shape. Do women find this guy attractive? He looks like he's made out of butter. I can't tell, but maybe they do. Turns out that he was actually dating Kate Hudson at the time and broke up her relationship with Chris Robinson of the Black Crowes, which they were married together. Remember the Black Crowes? Hey, little thing in much show how much yeah, how much if you remember that song for the Black Crowes, tall guy, southern rock band, and these guys know how to lay it down. So, I guess my favorites, I have a couple good, there's a couple good scenes. One of them is they kick Dupree out of the house and he doesn't have anywhere else to go. Actually, there's a couple good scenes. There's a scene where Dupree's masturbating in the front room of their house, and Kate Hudson comes down because she can't sleep, and she catches Dupree pleasuring himself to pornography. Okay. Carl rushes down. He's like, "What are you doing? You're trying to get freaky with my wife, pleasuring yourself?" Carl says to Dupree, "This is my pornography." To Dupree in private. "I hope you put away my box, my pornography box." Cut to Molly finding the box of Asian pornography that Carl's kept a secret from her for a long time.
Only Asian pornography.
Yeah, exclusively Asian pornography. Cut. They argue about it. She says, "Get this stuff, this filth out of here." Carl is taking each VHS of Asian pornography, looking at it, holding it in his hands in front of a garbage can, and throwing each one away into a garbage can on the side of their house. Dupree comes up just like sweet Dupree would, and he says, "I'm really sorry, man. I didn't mean to do that." And Carl confronts him. Carl says, "You're trying to sleep with my wife. I see how you two are getting together." Because Carl's actually being kind of mean, and it's driving Dupree and Molly together.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that's kind of like the dynamic that happens?
Yeah.
So I thought that was a pretty good scene. It's funny, it's horny, and it shows how much heart this movie really has.
Yeah, they're not afraid to go there.
No, not at all. They'll take it to the limit. It's a great movie, and it really stands the test of time. I thought it was honest, seriously, it was like the funniest thing I've watched in a long time, and I don't know why, and it scares me. Probably because it's so stupid. Owen Wilson's performance, I think, is genuinely funny, and it just seems like the people in it. You know what it is? I think a lot of actors are stupid, like literally stupid, and have no sense of humor. I think. And I think Kate Hudson, Owen Wilson, and Matt Dillon all kind of knew how stupid this movie was. So they seem to be actually having a good time.
Yeah.
Like they're acting really stupid.
Yeah, they are.
I genuinely think it's really funny. I don't know why. I thought I was sick this whole time. Like, do I just like this movie because it's so bad, so stupid? But watching it again, I was like really laughing at it.
Yeah.
It was weird. I surprised myself.
What I did when I was watching it, I noticed the chemistry between Kate Hudson and Owen Wilson, and I thought, okay, they're just actors, and but it turns out they had actual chemistry in real life. True story. She broke up with him.
Oh, wait, what?
Kate Hudson broke up with Owen Wilson.
Oh,
and after they're dating for a while. He went into a deep, dark depression, got spun out on drugs. A couple of months later was his famous suicide attempt. So what started as a relationship and the set of me, and Dupree ended up with Owen Wilson trying to take his own life. So that's where like the history part comes in. A couple parts that I liked, the scenes that I like, of course, one thing that we talk about a lot is when Dupree falls off the roof. That's really funny. And then there's another part where he falls through the ceiling. That's really funny.
So I don't remember. I didn't remember that.
Him falling through the ceiling?
Yeah. Okay.
It's at the end when he's like crawling into his father-in-law's office.
Okay.
Yeah. And so anyways, just the Dupree's Matt Dillon, Carl's father-in-law, Kate Hudson's dad is constantly trying to emasculate Carl, treating him like shit. He tries to get him to get a vasectomy. He's like fucking around. He works for Carl works for Kate Hudson's dad, and so he's like jerking him around at work. And I think it's made clear. I don't know if you got this vibe, but that is played by Michael Douglas. Michael Douglas is grooming Carl, Matt Dillon. He keeps pushing boundaries with him. You know, like first it starts with like, okay, you're going to get your name changed. You're going to hyphenate your name to my name and my daughter's name. You're just going to take my daughter's name. You're going to get a vasectomy. He keeps pushing closer and closer. And I was just waiting for the moment that he proposes that he do something sexual to him. So I thought that relationship was really interesting. And then another scene that I thought was really cool is when Dupree first moves in. Carl is supposed to have like a romantic evening with Molly because they just got married. And so Carl goes upstairs and Molly is laying on the bed, and she's turned, like her head is at the foot of the bed. So she's like turned around the wrong way on the bed, which is kind of weird. And then I noticed, and she's like talking to Carl, like looking back at him, backwards at him. And I'm like, why is she facing the wrong way? And then I noticed in the background were the candles, like birthday candles. There was a bunch of candles all over the room lit, like to set the mood. And there's birthday candles, the number 6 and the number 9 that were lit up, 69. So I think they were having this sexual liaison so they get 69. It was like a 69 specific thing.
Okay.
And that's why she was facing backwards. And Dupree is like, officially clumsy, making noise downstairs. And Molly's like, who is that? And Dupree is like, and Carl's like, oh, it's Dupree. He's got nowhere to stay. Can you stay with us for a night? She's like, fine. And so he comes upstairs and takes just this massive shit in the bedroom.
Oh, yeah.
Bathroom, clogs it up, doesn't flush, and leaves it there all night.
A lot of people say, Courtney Love says that Steve Coogan was the one that really ramped up Owen Wilson's partying.
Yeah, I've seen that written too.
Can you imagine that? What's wrong with these guys?
I know,
what I mean, because they were both in the night at the museum or whatever.
Oh yeah,
remember those movies?
Yeah, Steve Coogan said that he like turned a bunch of people onto drugs. But at the same time, he always like helped facilitated other people's interventions. And he considered himself like a functional addict, but he never did one for himself until he hit rock bottom. Eventually got clean.
He cleaned himself up?
That's what I read. Maybe he's back out there now, but I don't know.
So me, you, and Dupree, guys, check it out. It's pretty good. Wild ride.
Oh, the main thing the main takeaway I want to leave you guys with.
Why are you talking about this?
So after watching the whole movie, I'm convinced, and they give a lot of hints throughout the movie that you have to be kind of smart to pick up, is Dupree isn't even real. Dupree is a part of Carl. It's like a Fight Club thing, like it's enacted through Carl. And I'll tell you why I know that. Because Dupree has a sexual liaison with one of Molly's friends that you never see. You never see this friend.
Oh, yeah. It's weird. It's creepy. They like intentionally block her face. They talk about her a lot. But you never actually see her. Now, why is that? Right. And so I think it's Dupree is a figment of, like a part of Matt Dillon's personality, Carl's personality, that like comes out, and his struggle is to reconcile this part of him, find the tenderness that is Dupree, but the competence that is Carl. I keep watching, keep looking at YouTube. Not YouTube. I keep looking at Twitter. And there's always, I guess the algorithm's trying to make me paranoid about flying. But there's always like footage of people flipping out on airplanes. You know what I mean? Like people fighting, someone being mean about reclining. There's this weird group of people that think others shouldn't recline on an airplane. Have you heard of these people?
No.
I thought it would be really cool to be on a flight and like during the flight, we're talking like it's a 5-hour flight.
Yeah.
At least 3 people get zip tied for completely unrelated incidents. You know what I mean?
Zip tied.
Yeah, like you're on the plane and just like every half hour someone just completely loses their shit.
Right.
Starts screaming at a stewardess, choking the person next to them, trying to undo the emergency exit. Another guy starts smoking a joint, and then they tell him to put it out, and he starts like getting belligerent and violent. And the U.S. Air Marshal is just like exhausted. He's like trying to get to sleep. He's like, "You got to be kidding!" It's like 5 different people on this plane. I have to zip tie and like duct tape to a chair.
Yeah, it's
you know
like
what
his
I mean?
third flight of the day.
And it's like, if you're an American flying, like you should expect at least 5 to 6 people getting duct taped to their chair.
Yeah.
Like expect to be sitting next to someone that's like wetting themselves and foaming at the mouth.
Jinx.
You know?
Yeah.
I just think that's it's a paranoid fantasy I have.
Yeah.
But I think according to the internet, it's a reality, and I'm never flying again.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, can I give you a body check? Can I show you my body?
Oh yeah, what's going on with your body, dude?
Let me push this back a little bit.
It's hard to tell. Both different perspectives make us look like really. Oh wow, look at this thing, dude. Oh wow. Oh my god, dude. Holy shit. Oh my god. Wow, you're
still have a little bit of a belly.
Yeah, but it's
Still have a little bit of a belly.
But
that's the last thing to go.
It's turning into muscle. You look really strong. Yeah, okay, you don't need to do that. But yeah, your arms look really strong. You look like a really strong guy. Yeah, your shoulders are huge. Your what's the shoulder muscle?
The trapezoids.
Your traps are getting huge.
Thanks.
You got wings, dude?
Not
your back.
Not quite yet.
Let's see your back. Dude, I want to see if you got wings. Hey, you're getting some little wings, dude. You got little wings.
Thanks. Do you want to go body for body?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it. Hold on a second. Let me take this into the room. I got to. All right, so let me take my shirt off.
Oh yeah. Look at that. Yeah. Yeah. I can see that. I can see where you're going. You've got like a runner's body. You're really slim. And I can tell that you shedded a lot of weight.
Thanks, man.
And you can probably do a lot of like what's your pull-up count like?
I'm back up to like 13.
Yeah.
Trying to do as properly as possible. It's very hard.
It is hard. And I could tell because your shoulders are starting to get defined, and you're lighter. You're shedding a lot of weight.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, I haven't run for a while because it's been so cold.
Yeah.
But once that running starts happening, it's really game over. I'm hoping to have a pretty solid bod for next summer, and I think we're gonna be good. Let's see this picture you sent me.
Just sent it, and I sent it to John. It's a picture of both of us with our shirts off.
Oh yeah, I look like
so you can see our bodies.
I look like a backyard brawler.
Yeah, you do. You look like
when you take your shirt off and you're wearing a jeans and belt, you really look like a trashy guy.
Yeah, like you box down at the train yard.
Yeah.
Bare knuckle box at the train yard for soup money.
Yeah, you have like a bull, you have a pit bull that you're leashless pit bull that you're like wrestle with and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like he's biting he's like, oh my god, his grip is so strong. He's biting the shit out of my arm.
Yeah.
Oh, and this guy's strong.
Like stuff if you get knocked down in one of your fights, the dog will start like chewing on a guy's leg. Like the guy that's fighting you, you know?
Yeah. They killed the
dog off me.
They kill the dog for sure.
Yeah. That dog's that dog stuff.
dead, but it bought you just enough time to murder these guys with your bare hands.
Yeah.
But it's hobo justice, so one prosecutes you. As for fantasies, I feel drained, you know?
Mm-hmm. I blew all my fantasy. I have one fantasy I'm holding on to and a torture fantasy for later, but I just unloaded a bunch of different fantasies.
Yeah, I just don't. I can't think of anything. Well, yeah, you know, I never asked you this. What's the first time you heard Bob Dylan? Did I ask you this last time?
Yeah, last time. Mm-hmm.
Oh, forget it then.
Yeah.